Sit in this chair for 1,000 years and watch the woods consume the neighborhood. Watch the ambitions come and go, surround me and engulf me. We could ditch the TV and spend a little more time reading books and singing songs on the porch. Sit here watching the daylight wane, leaving little trace and even less memory. I just want to be still. I just want to be still. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever be free of these things that are weighing heavy on me, that keep me from doing or going on knowing the sun comes up, I go back to sleep. In our so-called liberation of self, we have only bound the shackles more tightly. Free up your mind and start thinking a good thought. Free your mind and be still. Free your mind and be still. Free your mind and be still. And be still.
Good morning, folks. So we've got a fair bit of snow here in northeast Scotland today. It's pretty wet and slushy kind of snow. Yeah, quite nice to see the snow, but also realise that we've got a lot more to do on our morning chores. We've got to get hay to the sheep because they can't find any grass in this to eat. We've got to probably put some straw around on the ground for the chickens to act as a bit of an insulated bridge over the snow so that they can get to their food and back to the house. We've also seen that the snow has pushed down a lot of the electric netting, which unfortunately means the sheep have got out. Rosa and I were just taking our dog Oren for a walk and looked over to where the sheep are, usually behind their electric netting, and saw that they're out. So Rosa's carried on for the dog walk. I've come back to get some hay, just watching the sheep now. They're kind of still up where they usually are, but they're definitely looking at me like, hey, have you got any hay? So I'm gonna go down to where we keep the hay bales and grab a bale of hay and try and tempt the sheep back into the cell, get all this snow off of the electric netting that's pushed the netting down. It's obviously very heavy, kind of heavy wet snow. All the small shrubs and bushes and trees that we've got around are all bent over as well. Get the hay, fix the sheep cell, then I've got to go and basically do the same to the chicks and the chickens. All the electric netting around those grazing areas for the hens have all been pushed over as well. Then have breakfast. I'm starving today. Right, that's the hay up. Got a little armful to hopefully tempt the sheep back in. I think it's going to be quite easy because they're hungry. fingers crossed. Where are they? Looks like they've been out for quite a while with the footprints in the snow that are everywhere. Here they come. Right, see if I can get them. Come on then. See if I can get them back in. Yeah, the electric netting is completely flattened, nearly all the way around the cell. See there? Here they come. Come on in, girls. Take you in this way. Just come on. Come on. Come on, girls. Come on, sheep. Come on, sheep. Step over this netting that is down. Right, come on sheep, come on sheep. Good girl. That was easy enough to get them in. I better work fast just to try and get the snow off of this electric net to kind of keep them in here. I mean, the only reason we don't want them wandering around is because there's a lot of trees that they could eat that we don't want them to eat right now. And there's areas of the farm that aren't that well fenced from the roads that surround us, so we don't want them wandering too far. Alright, so just got to shake all the snow off this electric netting and get it back up again. Right, that's the sheep happy, that's the net back up, so hopefully they'll be sticking around in the spot where we want them. Now on to the chickens. You can see the goat fence is down here as well. This one. But the goats won't be coming out today, I think they'll be in the byre. Rosa's just getting them for milking just now. So I think they'll be having a nice snow day. So, coming to repair the chicks fence up here in Alder Coppice. I see we've got a broken alder tree here in this small coppice area. I think the weight of the snow, potentially, we didn't have that strong wind last night. So yeah, that's one loss. So we've lost a couple over the years in this little coppice. This will grow from this cut here, kind of naturally pollarded. Rosa found quite a few branches that had come off some of the larger trees, some oaks and alders, so she's brought them down to feed the goats. Right, get this chick fence put up and get some straw to the poultry so that they can find their way off of their hen house and over to their food, because they seem a bit wimpy when it comes to snow. Fair enough, they must have cold feet. Okay, that's not too bad. I need to go and get a few corner posts just to give some tension to the netting, since it's got a bit stretched with the snow. I think I'll do that and get their straw. So that's the Chickshaw hens, got a nice land bridge of straw to encourage them to go out of their chickshaw today and go and eat and lay eggs. And you can see it works instantly. Moving the chickshaw a bit closer helped. Starting to rain a bit now, so at least it's gonna thaw. I like the snow, but as soon as we get snow, that stops a lot of the jobs that we want to do outside. But one thing we've always got to do is look after the animals. The snow can make life a bit harder with the animals. Frozen water and not the best of conditions for the goats or the chickens. The sheep, they're incredibly hardy and are managing fine. Anyway, so here we are up at the chicks. These guys haven't seen snow before. Are you finding it a bit cold?
So I'm just getting the dregs of some of the sprouts that are left from the garden. I've been harvesting the last of our kind of garden crops, mainly for the goats, things that aren't so edible for us anymore, and then bring the rest in for us to eat. But when I went today to go and get some of the crops for the goats, I saw that basically all of the sprouts that are left have been eaten by the geese. You can see it here, they've just been kind of gnawing on the different sprouts, which is fair enough. There's not very much for them right now because everything's covered in snow, but I thought I'd just bring in any that were slightly okay, and at least we can have a few fresh sprouts, and then the rest are going to go to the goats. This isn't actually as much as I normally give to the goats, but actually we've pretty much completely taken everything out of the garden now, so it's tailing off. But it's brilliant. We kind of see it as a way of, like, we kind of glean our own food from the garden after the end of the veg box, and we make use of every scrap bit of veg left, because it either goes to the goats, the hens, and then makes its way eventually to the compost through their manure and things. So it's a great way of kind of processing these last scraps. The geese have been actually doing really well in the market garden. Other than the stuff I've been taking for the goats and we've been taking for ourselves, they've been gnawing their way through a lot of the different vegetables, which we really didn't expect, because often they're quite particular with, you know, what grass they eat. So we kind of didn't figure that they'd go for a range of vegetables as well. But they, first of all, started off, we went to go and harvest our own carrots that were left after the veg box. We thought we'd take some for ourselves. I went to the carrot bed and it was just dotted with hundreds of holes exactly where the rows of carrots were. And if you look down into the hole, there's the tiny bit bottom of a carrot. So they'd just taken the whole thing, just put their heads right down into the soil, gnawed all the way down, and fed themselves really well from that bed. So unfortunately no carrots for us from that, but that's okay, they were quite small ones anyway. And the other thing was, as you might remember from a few vlogs back, we had quite a few voles nibbling a lot of our beets. So during harvest those beets would just get left in the bed, but the geese were making great use of them. We saw them running around with like whole beets in their mouths, and just it looked quite gory. They had kind of red beaks, kind of looked like blood all over their faces, and totally pink poo everywhere. So they've really, I mean, they've been dropping their manure all over the beds, which is actually really brilliant. It was a great time to bring them into the garden. The paths were quite full of grass because we hadn't cut them in a while. There was veg left that mostly we didn't want, other than these sprouts and those few carrots, but they've just probably had a really good diverse diet. If we were going to eat them, I'm sure they would taste amazing right now. Yeah, I think we'll probably do that again. Maybe just make sure we've got everything we need out of the garden first, but it's worked better than I think we even realised in the market garden, so that's great. And got a bowl of sprouts, so I'm fine, it's okay, that's enough. So I'm just going to take these to the goats. They can find what they can off of them, because there's not so much. I think we might cut a bit of tree hay for them as well. They've already had a bit today because of the heavy snow. I was able to grab a few branches that broke off of some of the trees, so they've been having a bit of tree today, which is a great treat for them because they're stuck in the byre. But we're going to go and cut some more, just make sure that they can stay really healthy since they're trying to get through this cold weather, and then we'll probably be trying to go into the comfort of the house for a while because it is pretty cold.
From the market garden. They've been here for a couple of weeks now, but I'm going to bring them some grain. I've got a bucket of grain for them plus some more carrots, just to give them some extra food while we've got snow.
Hey boy. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Alright. Alright, boy.
So how, in general, are the goats?
The goats are really good, except for P, who is half good. She's got foot rot, basically. She has arthritis as well, so I'm thinking it was just arthritis. and then realising she had an abscess because there was blood, and then it seemed to get better and now it suddenly got worse. And then kind of asking this question at the moment whether she's so old that is it worth keeping on pushing along with constant kind of cleaning and potentially antibiotics and different things, or is it that she's maybe not got the greatest quality of life right now and whether to put her down. So that's, yeah, not so great. And the conclusion I'm at the moment is to try her on antibiotics just one time, and I'm going to see how it goes, and I'm going to keep kind of giving her clean on her feet and trying to keep them as dry as possible, which is actually quite difficult in winter in Scotland, but I think it's, yeah, I've decided rather than keeping on bandaging it up, I'm just gonna keep trying to let it air dry, because the kind of moist conditions aren't that great either within the bandage. So yeah, so that's the kind of where that is at the moment. So P, not so great, but she is otherwise fine. She's eating a lot, she wants to come out, she just takes a long time to get there, and yeah, she's headbutting away as well in defense of the others sometimes. So she doesn't seem to have lost her lust for life yet, so I think that's why I just want to carry on trying a little bit. She still does graze when she's out, you know, she's still providing us with a service, a cycle of nutrients through her body. So even though we're not getting milk from her and she's taking a little bit more work right now, like, she's worth it because she's been a really great goat for a lot of people to learn to milk on, actually, and just a really friendly one. James's daughter's favourite goat as well, so she's an important one and probably more of a pet, to be honest. The other goats are fine. The new goats are great. They're producing plenty of milk still, and really well behaved. I'm just amazed by how well behaved they are. They're showing up the other two quite a lot. At the moment they're grazing in some really nice grass that grew back really well after we were rotating the kind of birds behind the goats. So that's the geese and the chickens. Over summer we had this amazing regrowth, especially where the Chickshaw have been over. So this amazing regrowth of lush grass. Just started rotating them on that now. And the milk went up again after going down a bit for winter, so that's been really great. So making some big cheeses still, which is really fun. Mandy I have recently dried off, but I still milk her every few days, which, yeah, was part of the drying off process, but I found that it's been useful to have a little bit of extra milk to go into some of the cheeses. She is the one that seems to always run off when I'm trying to take the goats to any grazing cell that isn't joined by a laneway to their buyer. So she's probably the most like emotionally frustrating goat, but she's still very healthy. She's not young, not a spring chicken herself. She's actually I think 11 now, or just about to turn 11 in early spring. So she's definitely becoming is one of the elders of our teeny tiny little herd, but she doesn't seem it, and she seems in very good health. So yeah, Mandy's doing well. Thinking of maybe putting her in kid, still deciding whether we want to like get some more kids from her, because looking at Mandy's behaviour and then her kids Myrtle and Billy from last year, who now you can see over at a YouTube channel, Homestead in the Highlands. Myrtle and Billy are still lovely, just as Mandy is lovely, but really like mischievous and really good at jumping and escaping and all these things. So that could just be from you know, my inability to have like got them used to fences when they were young. But there is still a bit of a decision whether Mandy is the one that we want to kid from. So we'll either be getting her in kid or not in the spring, but it might be nice, especially if we also get the sheep in lamb, because we might have a few baby animals on the farm in spring. So just decided, because the weather's actually pretty bad, we're actually gonna use one of the few bundles we made this year of tree hay to give the goats a little treat today. So we'll just go over to the woodshed where we've been keeping them dry, and see what the goats think of it.
So we've got a few different bundles of tree hay here. Like Rosa said, we didn't get enough time to make a lot this year, also not much space to dry them. But different varieties of tree. Rosa's just taken out some of the hybrid willow that we've got. We've been drying birch and hazel and ash and a couple of different types of willow.
So that's the tree hay up. Got a strange suspended kind of abstract piece of art there, but it's just trying to work out how all of them can access it without others just kind of hogging it and headbutting the others. So still a bit of a work in progress with tree hay feeder. Any ideas with a good communal tree hay feeder be appreciated. But yeah, they seem to be enjoying it. I think they're having an okay snow day, so we're now going to go in and get a bit cozy. We hope you enjoyed this video. As usual, if you did, please hit subscribe, give it a like, and we'll catch you next time. Bye!